why I think the education system in Africa must change. After 20 years in school, a person graduates without a single skill in them. I call this an insult and a great disappointment to our generation, because we are made to believe that education is the only key to success. One spends almost half of their life studying stuff that will never be of help to them. Students are taught history of different countries, and after, they are denied visas to visit them. So, do not confine your children to your own learning because they were born in a different time. I'm not trying to downplay our education system, but my concern is that we are still using the system of the 18th century to prepare children of the future that no longer exists. More theoretical than practical. Loads of irrelevant subjects where students use cram work just to get good grades because they were made to believe that success is determined by their grades. The high unemployment rates in Africa are attributed to poor education system we adopted as a continent that is regarded as academic-oriented and less practical. The education system is not skill-driven. One of the key strategies of implementing Vision 2040 should be reform of the education sector to align it with human resource needs in the other productive sector and seek for global scheme. Africa needs to consider reforming of the education system if we are to even think of focusing on skills development as a continent. A poor education system can be regarded in many different ways, from a system that creates blueprints and high number of unemployed people to one that doesn't focus on changing when change comes knocking. Education is not the center of building human capital because the latest World Bank research shows that the productivity of 56% of the world's children will be less than half of what it could be if they enjoyed complete valued education and full health. It is a public secret that poor education system can crumble global development, and this is very true when it comes to East Africa. The current COVID-19 pandemic and its adverse effects on the way of life and the status of the economy better explains how poor our education system is. We slept off when change passed around in the 2 decades we spent fighting and getting back up. A big thanks to coronavirus pandemic, over 15 million people and students are stranded at home, not studying for almost 1 year now. So, if you are to answer the unemployment question and to get where we all desire, the education system must change. We need to have effective and strong career guidance mechanism where potential talents and abilities can be realized. If these factors are closely studied, it is believed that the world will greatly improve on the education system and global development. But just like the wise man Necha said, the illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read and write, but those who cannot learn and relearn. It began in school where students were punished for speaking their mother language. You don't speak vernacular. I feel sorry for parents who sold their cows and goats to educate their children, and after getting a degree, they sell their land to take their children to Arab countries to work as maids and security guards. Sorry for my country. Jobless graduates are chasing dreams on borders. We have a system where people can explain what they can do, but they can't do what they're explaining. But why? The World Bank always asserts that the world is facing a learning crisis. I wouldn't want this to be truer than you. And you can't fight corruption without changing the education system. However, many schools and thought leaders have come out to advise on what can be done to a better Africa education system. Although all this falls on deaf ears. Moze for God and my country.